The evening sky was heavy, with dark clouds as cold rain soaked the narrow streets of the city. Aisha walked carefully along the broken sidewalk, her arms aching as she held her baby tightly against her chest. The baby was wrapped in a thin blanket, already damp at the edges. Every step felt heavier than the last, but stopping was not an option. If she missed the last bus, they would have to walk all the way back to their small rented room. Her day had begun before sunrise, scrubbing floors, washing dishes, and enduring sharp words from people who never learned her name. Yet she never complained. All she prayed for was enough strength to protect her child. As she neared a small park beside the road, a sound cut through the rain, a child sobbing. Aisha slowed down. Near an old wooden bench sat a little boy, no older than 6, his face buried in his hands. He wore a warm jacket and clean shoes, things Aisha hadn't been able to afford in years. People walked past him. Some glanced briefly, others pretended not to notice. Aisha's heart tightened. She looked at her sleeping baby, then at the boy again. Fear whispered inside her. What if someone misunderstands? What if I get into trouble? Still, she couldn't walk away. She stepped closer and gently crouched down. Beta, why are you crying? She asked, her voice soft despite the rain. The boy looked up, his eyes red and frightened. I lost my nanny, he said between sobs. My phone is dead and I don't know where my dad is. Aisha sat beside him, shielding him slightly from the rain. She took out the last biscuit from her bag, the one she had saved for later, and handed it to him. Eat this. You're safe here. Her baby stirred and smiled, reaching out tiny fingers. The boy hesitated, then smiled back, his fear slowly melting away. Across the street, inside a black luxury car, Daniel Carter, CEO of one of the country's largest companies, ended an urgent business call. He looked up, and his heart stopped. His son was missing. Security rushed to search the area, panic spreading fast. Then Daniel's eyes caught a strange sight through the rain-streaked window. His son sitting on a bench beside a poor woman holding a baby. Calm, safe, even smiling, Daniel leaned forward, his voice low. Stop the car. He watched silently, stunned, not by wealth or power, but by a moment of pure, unseen kindness. The rain had slowed to a light drizzle when Daniel Carter finally stepped out of his car. His polished shoes touched the wet pavement, but his eyes were fixed only on the bench ahead. His son noticed him first and jumped up, relief flooding his small face. Dad! The boy cried, running straight into Daniel's arms. Daniel knelt down and hugged him tightly. His chest heavy with emotions he rarely allowed himself to feel. Fear, guilt, and overwhelming gratitude. He looked up at Aisha, who had already stood up, clutching her baby protectively. Her face had gone pale. I didn't mean any harm, she said quickly. He was crying and no one stopped. I just stayed with him. Daniel studied her. Her clothes were worn, her hands rough from hard work. Yet her eyes held sincerity, not fear of authority, but concern for a child. He raised his hand gently. You did exactly what a good human being should do, he said quietly. Thank you. Aisha blinked, surprised. She had expected questions, maybe blame. Instead, she received gratitude. Daniel turned to his son. Did she take care of you? The boy nodded eagerly. She gave me a biscuit, Dad, and her baby made me smile. Something shifted inside Daniel. In his world, kindness was usually calculated. This was different. Security arrived, apologizing repeatedly, but Daniel waved them off. Before leaving, he handed Aisha his card. If you ever need help, call me. She hesitated. Sir, I didn't help for anything. I know, he replied. That's why I'm asking. Days later, Aisha received a call she almost ignored, thinking it was a mistake. When she finally answered, her life changed. Daniel arranged a safe apartment for her and her baby and offered her a position in his company, not charity, but honest work. I reward character, he told her. And you have it. Weeks passed. Aisha worked with quiet dedication, her baby cared for safely. She never boasted about that rainy night. Yet her integrity impressed everyone, including Daniel himself. One evening, as Daniel watched his son laughing beside Aisha, calling her auntie, he understood something profound. That night in the rain wasn't an accident. It was destiny reminding him that true wealth is found in compassion, and sometimes the smallest act of kindness can change many lives forever.